nobody can tell me what they want to do.
I lived in Virginia at the time, and I felt like I was the only Asian in the county. I was gay. I wasn't religious. It seems like I was the only one who didn't have John 3:16 written on their locker. Then I joined the marching band, and I felt like I finally found my clique. But then not long afterward, my mom told me that we were moving again. It started to feel like I didn't belong anywhere. And of course, my teenage hormones had me wondering if I even belonged on Earth. Then one day, I made the mistake of reading my adoption papers from China. My parents left me in an alley. They didn't bother to bring me to an orphanage.
Would always be in the basement. And I'm sure it's fine, they're my parents. But as I grew older, I noticed that a lot of the time, even when we were together, they weren't quite there.
My brother's been a heroin addict, on and off. Mostly on.
And sometimes, when I knock on the bathroom door, I hear my mom hurriedly cleaning something up.
We don't really talk much anymore, but when we do, he acts like we talk all the time and hits me up for $20. And I give it to him, because I never know if it's going to allow him to eat a meal or have a place to sleep, but I'm sure he spends it all on drugs.
Then one day, I found a crack pipe.
At first, I was angry. Then for a while, I was actually hopeful that he would change.
I'd say we probably lived in 20 or 25 states because my dad can't keep a job. We went from houses to small suburban apartments to small inner city apartments.
Now, I just try to feel nothing, and the less I see him, the easier that is.
They make up for it with how much they love me, I suppose. They always cook me dinner. They accept who I am. They always tell me they love me.
My parents have gone old quick because of him. Mom gets panic attacks, and my dad's addicted to Xanax. And we have a protocol in our family that you always have to text before calling, because otherwise we assume he's overdosed again.
But there's never any money for art supplies, or gas, or college, and every time they tell me we're going to do something, they never do it.
He has had so many chances. He's overdosed 12 times. Most people don't even survive one overdose.
They always tell me we're going to visit colleges together, but it's never the right time.
We talk pretty openly in our family about how we'd all just be better off if my brother was dead. And we talk about it as if it's a small thing, but it's a little more nuanced now because he has a 3-year-old child. But even his son would be better off without a heroin addict as a father.
I didn't really mind when my parents got divorced. mad at my father or anything. I was just like, dude, I get it. Relationships end. It's fine. Just leave. My mom, she actually sent me to therapy because she thought I was handling it too well.
I want to help Chinese people who have disabilities. I know what it's like because I lived in a Chinese orphanage until the age of 10, and I couldn't go to school because I couldn't walk. But that's just a small part of who I am. I want to travel and be a diplomat and do all sorts of things that have nothing to do with being disabled. I don't want people to pity me, and I don't want to be another poor her. I don't want to inspire people. Inspiration is a word that disabled people hear a lot. And to you, it's a positive word, but to us, it's patronizing. This morning, I got accepted into the London School of Economics. Now, hold on. Let me put on some lip gloss before you take the photo.
I come here not to think.
When I was in foster care, I wasn't hip to talking to people. In foster care, all we did was come home and go to our rooms. And I was living with this older autistic kid who would beat me up every day. So when I got out, I didn't feel like I was ready to talk to people. So I'd have to practice in the mirror every day.
I cried the first time I did heroin. I never wanted to do it. I was always against it. But I was 245 pounds at the time, and I was with the first guy who had ever shown any interest in me. So I did it to feel accepted. But now I'm always waiting for my next fix. Even when I manage to get clean, the demon is always on my back. I always thought I was too smart to be an addict. And I am smart. I sing and I write poetry. There are so many things I could have done. And I cry every day of my life because I'm too smart for this to have happened to me.
So what's your
What's
biggest
your
goal?
biggest goal in life?
I just want to make it out of the hood. I don't have to go that far, but if I can just live an inch outside, then I'll feel safe, and I'll know that I'm straight.
So many of my friends seem happy where they are. But I'm just not there yet.
I want to have my own career. I don't want to depend on anyone else, but there's this view in our society that an independent woman doesn't belong, she's not one of us. And that if you want to do one thing on your own, you have to do everything on your own, and that's difficult. Because just because I want to be independent doesn't mean I want to be alone.
I'm afraid that if I don't choose a path soon, life's gonna choose one for me.
I haven't taken it seriously yet, but I have plenty of time.
What's my biggest goal in life? I haven't figured that out yet.
I worry about going insane. Ever since I was young, I have these periods where my thoughts make no sense, and I get very impulsive, and I start to hit things, or I bang my head against the wall. I just need to feel pain. It's the only thing that can get me out of my head and calm me down and give me something to focus on. I think about the number 110 billion a lot. I think that's the number of planets in the universe, or number of cells in the body, or grains of sand, or number of people who have ever lived. It's one of those things. It just reminds me how unimportant I am. There have been 7 times recently where I've had a knife to my wrist trying to get the courage to kill myself. My parents think that I'm here with friends. They'd freak out if they knew I was here alone. Well, I'm not exactly here alone. I actually came here to see a guy. He's 55. I met him on the internet. It's sort of a BDSM thing, like a daddy-daughter thing. He's actually at work now. He's got a wife and 2 kids. I think I'm using this relationship to get myself out of a dark, dark hole. But at the very least, it's the ultimate support system. I think it all started at a young age. My parents used to joke around about how I tie up and beat my stuffed animals. They actually called it Disney in bondage. Little did they know how right they were. They're very religious, actually. My father is the son of a missionary, and they used to do this super weird thing where they'd go through my room and take away anything that they didn't agree with, or they'd break any CDs that they didn't think were Christian. I actually remember the very first time I got in trouble at church because I was leaning up against one of my best friends. My youth pastor said that we were acting like lesbians, and my mom said that I was ruining her reputation. I started antidepressants when I was about 14 years old, and I think that's around the same time my parents took me to my first psychiatrist to figure out what was wrong with me.
Anyways, if I told you what I wanted to do, I'd probably change my mind once I tried it. Did you know you wanted to be a photographer when you were my age? Didn't think so.